Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I would like to talk about PlayStation 6 capabilities. Ray tracing capabilities, resolution capabilities, performance capabilities. So we'll be talking about 8K, 120 frames per second and ray tracing. Okay, let's start with resolution because 8K is nothing new really here. We've heard that before. PlayStation 5 was supposed to support 8K, but it doesn't still after 5 years. So maybe Sony decided to move that particular feature to next generation. I don't know, maybe they will update it in the future, who knows, right? But I think with PlayStation 5 it was supposed to be 8K 60 frames per second. With PlayStation 6 it's supposed to be 8K and 120 frames per second, so we'll see how that goes. But saying that, obviously on PlayStation 5 we already have like 1 or 2 games that support 8K, but as super sampling, meaning that the game is being rendered at 8K or close to 8K in the internal graphics buffer, but then the output on your TV is still 4K because PlayStation 5 doesn't really support 8K just yet, right? Even though HDMI 2.1 is fine for 8K, I think it can deal with 8K up to 60 frames per second, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so it looks like 4K and 120 frames per second is going to be more of a PlayStation 6 feature. Now, it doesn't really change much, to be honest with you, because let's face it, not many games will support that. Like I said, 5 years into this generation, there's only 1 or 2 games that support 8K on PlayStation 5, and even though PlayStation 5 doesn't output 8K, but anyway, I repeat myself on that really, sorry about that, but you know, I think it's more about like capability rather than reality, because reality is that a lot of PlayStation 5 games actually run internally in 720p, 1080p or close, and then it's being upscaled to like 1440p or 4K or whatever resolution developers planned for a game. So I think that may be also on the cards with PlayStation 6, so 8K but upscaled and 120 frames per second, but maybe it's going to use some form of frame generation. That's actually possible as well, right? It just came to my mind really. Just one of the options, right? But who knows? Either way, it's not really a big deal, to be honest with you, because we know already that PlayStation 6 is going to be around, according to the latest leaks, like 2 times the power, is going to offer 2 times the capability performance of PlayStation 5 Pro, if we're lucky, right? 3 times the PlayStation 5 performance, so we'll see how that goes, right? So yeah, that's actually kind of cool. Now let's talk about ray tracing capabilities, because according to that rumor, and that information is courtesy of Tom of Moore's Law is Dead, and he talks about ray tracing capabilities, and he says that RDNA 5 is going to get a massive boost when it comes to ray tracing capabilities in comparison to previous generations like RDNA 3 and RDNA 4. And he talks about the fact that PlayStation 5 will have, I guess, some sort of custom design when it comes to ray tracing, maybe not design, custom configuration, I guess. And he says that PlayStation 6 ray tracing capabilities will be pretty close to RTX 5080, 5090, right? That's what he says. Now, obviously, that doesn't mean that PlayStation 5 will have capabilities of RTX 5090 in general, right? We're talking about one particular graphics feature, right? So it's just, it can deal with the same amount of calculations when it comes to ray tracing as RTX 5090, which is great news, because that means that future games will most likely, most of them will have more advanced ray tracing and that kind of stuff. So global illumination, you know, reflections, maybe even path tracing with some games, who knows, right? And I mean, ray tracing at first was just a gimmick, but now more and more we actually see that ray tracing can make a huge difference. But it also requires quite a lot of computational power, and looks like PlayStation 6 will have that. Now, obviously, we don't really know any frame rates or any comparisons to like current gen consoles, because like RDNA 5 is not out there just yet. So we're still just talking about like, you know, numbers without any proper benchmarks really. But you know, testing apparently is going fine, and ray tracing is going to be a big thing with RDNA 5. And obviously RDNA 5 will be used to power next generation Xbox. So I guess some of these, maybe all of these improvements to RDNA 5 will be present there as well on next gen consoles in general, which is good because that means that both consoles will have these capabilities, more performant ray tracing capabilities. That means that more developers will take advantage of it and games will just look better, right? So that's about it when it comes to actually ray tracing capabilities. Moore's Law is Dead talks about like ray tracing being much better in a sense that in comparison to PlayStation 5, it's going to be 10 times more performant in terms of ray tracing capabilities. So that's going to be a massive difference. And I feel like the next generation overall, when it comes to both Xbox and PlayStation, it's really going to be all about these kinds of improvements. So we're not really going to get that much more raw power like teraflops and that kind of stuff, compute units and stuff like PlayStation 5. PlayStation 6 is supposed to have less compute units than PlayStation 5 Pro. That tells a lot, but it's going to be more about newer technology and more performant technology, not necessarily raw numbers. And I think it goes, same will probably can be applied to machine learning, right? I mean, PlayStation 5 Pro is a massive difference when it comes to machine learning capabilities in comparison to PlayStation 5. Even Xbox Series S and X. I mean, PlayStation 5 don't have any machine learning hardware acceleration at all. So, you know, that's why PlayStation 5 is capable of PSSR and FSR4 in the future. And that's why it's a shame that like Xbox Series X never got that FSR4. It's a shame. You know, I'm still hoping that it will get that one day, and I'm still waiting for FSR on RDNA for RDNA 3 GPUs. That would be cool to have that. Obviously, I mean, I'm actually, my PC is being powered by RDNA 3 graphics card, RX 7800 XT. So, you know, it would be nice to have a FSR 4. It may not be as performant on RDNA 3 GPUs or RDNA 2 GPUs as on RDNA 4 GPUs, but still it would be nice to have that option for sure. And I think there's been some mods, at least on Linux already, where you can actually enable FSR4 on RDNA 3 graphics cards as well, and it works. It doesn't work as fast as on RDNA 4, of course, because these cards don't have as much hardware acceleration for machine learning, of course. You know, the tops numbers, right? But still, you know, it would be nice to have that on for sure. So listen, I think it's all the biggest difference is going to be not necessarily raw power next generation, but it's going to be all about like better use of ray tracing, better use of machine learning, and all that kind of new stuff. So, you know, exciting times ahead of us, that's for sure. So guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.